Hello everybody, I hope you're doing well. Welcome back to my channel and thank you so much for clicking on this video. I am sitting in the same filming setup that I have done for the past two videos that have been on my channel, purely for the reason that I am in love with my Christmas tree. So I decided to sit down in front of it again, have it twinkling happily at me in the background and talk to you about pushchairs. Now, when Eric was small, when Eric was a baby, we had the Eye Candy Strawberry 2 as our travel system, and then we went on to the GB Cubit Plus. Over time, our knowledge of pushchairs and prams that are, well, somewhat accessible. If you have a disability similar to mine, or like mine, really, our knowledge of those things changed. So when EZRA was born, we needed a double pram anyway, so we invested in a second-hand bugaboo donkey. I think it was a donkey rather than a donkey too. And by that point I did not like the GB Cubit Plus anymore for various different reasons. So at one point we were down visiting my parents, and my parents have a Cossato Woosh, and I decided I wanted to just give it a try to see if it was one-handed friendly, because a lot of the issues I had with the Cubit was the height of the bar, the push bar that you navigate a pushchair with. Handlebar. It was quite low. I was having to like stoop a little bit, and it just wasn't very practical or comfortable to use anymore. So I gave the Woosh a little test drive and really liked it. So we took it back up with us. They said it was okay for us to use, because they knew we were on the lookout for well, not on the lookout, but I just wasn't that enamoured with the Cubit anymore, so if we could have a different pushchair, that would have been amazing. That was going swimmingly for us until a few weeks ago when the bloomin' thing broke on us. It was to do with the frame, one of the sides, I'm not sure if they're called legs or whatever, just snapped. So we were pushchairless because we just gotten rid of the donkey because we didn't really think it was necessary to have anymore. So basically we were up shit creek with no paddles. So it may seem a bit excessive to some, but if you know how hard it is to find brands and specifically products that are accessible to those of us who are parents and have disabilities, then you will understand why we decided to invest in two pushchairs, because I couldn't really risk not having a pushchair. When I'm in work, I am mainly the one doing the majority of the school runs. When I'm in work, but even when I'm not in work, I do the school run. But Ryan's been off on annual leave this week, so I think that I'm just like on kind of sharing the load mode, if that makes sense. I need a pushchair because I need to get EZRA to and from school. Eric pretty much walks nearly everywhere now, or if not, he goes on Ryan's shoulders or in the car, so it's never really an issue if he needs a little bit of pushchair transportation, but EZRA definitely does. So we decided to get two pushchairs, one to have and then one to have just in case. So we went for another Cossato Woosh. This is the Woosh 2, which I believe, which would make sense, is the updated version of the Woosh. I'm not sure what changes have been made, or if it's just aesthetically they've added more designs, I don't know. But we got a Woosh 2. I always forget this one's name. This is the Joie Mirus Scenic pushchair. Now what I thought I would do, because this issue of pushchairs is just ridiculous, is I would sit down and I would talk through the different models. I've been using both, I've been test driving them both. I've got my views on them already and I wanted to share them with you, and then at the end of this video I've done a kind of demo section on how I use them, either solely one-handed or with a little bit of help with my left arm, like mainly forearm, to support things. But you'll see what I mean when we get to that part. So I'll start with the Cossato Woosh. I think this is a really, really good Pushchair. There are a few things that I like about it, and there are a few things that I'm not really so fond on. They're not massive things, but if I was designing a Pushchair, these things are issues I'd address to make it a little bit more user-friendly. I like the fact that it folds up so small. I like the fact that it's easy to transport. It's quite light to carry, which is amazing. We keep it in our hallway, and it takes up minimal space, so it doesn't get in the way. It's not at all cumbersome. It has a little bell on the chassis handlebars, which is nice because it's always a bit of a pain to, you know, kind of say excuse me when you're trying to get past people, especially at the moment if you're wearing a mask. I like the fact that it's got the option to lay completely flat in case your little one wants to sleep. I also like the fact that it's got a full hood, so if it's sunny out, it acts as a bit of a block for the sunshine, or if you don't want your baby to be disturbed, you can pull it right down and lower the seat, and either they don't get distracted, or, you know, people aren't peeking in if your baby's getting tired and just wants to be left alone. The one thing I would say that is a little bit of an issue with this model is putting it up. Now, don't get me wrong, on the handlebars, this is a fully one-handed operating system. You push that bit back and you twist the top, and the chassis, the main Pushchair elements pop up, but it can be a little bit fiddly getting the legs to lock. I haven't yet found a quick fix to this. It's all about how you flick it up, maybe sometimes how my foot is positioned, if it's on the back bar where the brake is. It just takes a little bit of experimenting to actually get it to stay up. But in the grand scheme of things, if I was to compare it to the Cubit, which is the one we previously had, the height is a lot better. So if you're pushing it one-handed, perfect. There are two options on the wheels. You can have them locked so they don't swivel, or you can have them so they swivel. I'm sure there's a technical term for those two different settings, but I think if you have a Pushchair, then you may know what I mean, or if you've used Pushchairs before, you may know what I mean. It's lightweight, which is amazing. I think you can get a foot muff to go with it. We haven't looked into that yet. We just tend to just put EZRA in a pram suit if it's cold. And is it a 4-way buckle or a 5-way buckle? Basically, it's got straps over the arms, straps around the waist, and it clips together in the middle. That's all one-handed friendly. Sometimes it can be a little bit fiddly, but on the most part, that is a one-handed friendly feature. So, yeah, I mean, you can get a few different designs. We went for, well, Eric chose this one. It's kind of like a sea creature, pirate, Loch Ness monster, octopus thing. So if you wanted to get something that was a bit more girly, I think there's an option for that. Or this one has got a kind of porthole feature in the hood. The previous model we had, which was just the Woosh, had a kind of series of small pockets for your keys and your purse and your phone, and I'd put hand sanitizer in it because we all need that at the moment. So yeah, I mean, you'll see in a lot more detail how to erect and take down the pushchair itself, so I don't really want to go into too much detail. But if you are on the lookout for a pushchair, this could be a very, very strong contender if you are specifically looking for one that you can operate with one hand, or mainly with one hand with a little bit of support from your other arm. But this is, I think, probably the most one-handed friendly pushchair choice currently on the market at the moment. This is, I'm gonna forget the name again. This is the Joie Mirus Scenic pushchair, and honestly, it is an absolute game changer. Ryan and I were talking about this before when he was helping me film the latter section of this video, and it's just, you know, if this had been around, or if this had been something we knew about when Eric was small, I think we would have just not got a travel system, full stop, because you can actually, I think, use this from newborn. There's some kind of, I don't know, there's some way to attach a car seat, or you can buy a baton, something, but I believe this can be used from newborn. And gosh, it is just absolutely brilliant. And a lot of it has to do with how easy it is to put up and take down, which you will see coming up later in this video. There are so many things that I like about it. The back is getting quite dark, but this is the only time I've got to film because the boys are at the childminder. At the back has got a seat that just clips and lowers, and you can push it up. So there's no kind of button or toggle kind of setup that can be a little bit fiddly if you're trying to do it with one hand. I think the wheels have got the two options, whether you want them just like static or swivelly. Again, I'm sorry, I do not know the technical term. It's a full hood, so baby has got that protection from the sun, or you know, if they need privacy. One of the most ingenious things is the brake is on the handlebar, and it is fully one-handed operable. It is on the right hand side, so if you did have limitations that affected your right side, your right hand and arm specifically, it could be a bit more clunky to use. But for me, because my main hand is my right hand, it is just so easy. Like if I'm stopping at lights, or you know, we're waiting for Eric to come out of school and I want the brake to be on, it's just so easy to this is where I can't do it because it's the wrong way, to take down, and then you hire it to put the brake on. Another amazing feature that I think is just brilliant is you can actually have this forward facing or backwards facing. I hope you know what I mean, because to me saying that out loud sounds weird. Basically, you can have it so the handlebars are at the back of the pushchair chassis, or you can have them so they're at the front. So basically, baby can be facing you, or baby can be facing outwards. To me, that is just, I mean, that is just what a brilliant feature. There have been occasions where I've been taking Ezra for a walk, and like he's been a little bit fussy, so I've just literally mid-walk changed the handlebar situation. He was facing outwards, and then all of a sudden he was facing me, and he was a lot happier. I mean, I'm honestly over the moon that we found this pushchair. I'm gonna say I'm over the moon, but this comes with a big but. If you have this pushchair in, so baby is facing you, trying to navigate the handlebars and get the right kind of balance, I want to say, in terms of where you put your hand on the handlebars and getting a what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. Basically, the way it pushes can be a little bit erratic and hard to control. So, what's the best way? Because I know that you're not going to understand what I mean. Basically, what I'm trying to say is, if you have the handlebars so that you're pushing... God, sorry about this. My brain is just not keeping up with, like, my mouth at the moment. If baby's facing you and you're trying to push it, it does push a little bit like a kind of drunken relative leaving a Christmas party after having drunk all the punch. It's very all over the place, it's very sloppy, but a lot of that has to do with how you put your hand on the handlebar. The navigation can be manipulated, but you've got to make sure that your hand is on the right section of the handlebar. Now, this isn't a major issue for me, because Ezra is older, and quite a lot of the time he does want to be facing outwards, because, I mean, the big wide world and everything that's going on is a lot more interesting than looking at me all the time. But if you had a younger baby and you wanted to have them facing you so you could keep an eye on them more, this could get a little bit annoying. However, like, one of the big benefits of it for me, having an older baby, well, pretty much a toddler, is that if I was to be out, and this is not a situation that has happened yet, but it's something that I do think about. If I happened to be out and Ezra was getting tired and I was in a position where I could sit down and be with him, I could flip the handlebars so that he was facing me, and then I would be able to rock him back and forth. He'd be able to have a bottle, because the seat does recline fully to a laying position for the baby. So I'd be able to sit with him and rock him and make sure that, you know, he was kind of lulled to sleep. But when it comes to comparing these two, there's a clear winner, and it's this one. I'm not saying this is rubbish. It's not. It is brilliant, and at the end of the day, it's down to personal choice. The drive on this is a lot better. It's a lot easier to use. Erecting it is a bit tricky. There's the option to have this rearward or frontward facing. The push is a little bit clunky and a little bit hard to navigate, but for me, that doesn't bother me. I'd rather take this. This has been my go-to really for the school runs, kind of on the daily, compared to this one. But that's why I'm going to lead on to say I've included a demo for both of these, so that if you want to go on and watch that and make up your own mind, that's absolutely up to you. Not everybody's going to have the same opinion. People are going to be looking for different things. All I'm going to do is put my recommendations in, kind of point out the good with the bad, because it's so hard to get any kind of idea of what pushchairs are like when you use them with one hand. So I'm hoping this video has been of some help if you're in the market for a pushchair, if you need to invest in one. I know that I would have loved to have seen a video like this when we were shopping around for Eric or Ezra. If you did find it helpful, please leave me a thumbs up, let me know, and let me know if you decide to go for either one of these models. I'd be curious to see which one you will, whoever's watching this who is in the market for one, what you decide to go for. Leave me a comment if there are any other videos like this you may want to see where, you know, I kind of do a mini review and compare two baby items. And yeah, I'm out of breath now. I spoke too fast. If you haven't subscribed already and you'd like to follow along with this journey, please hit the subscribe button. And other than that, thank you so much again for watching this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye!